and missing, but not forgotten. Has Carlee Russell Setback actual missing women? According to the National Crime Info Center, Black people account for 40% of missing person cases. Let's talk about the setback of missing Black women, a joint episode with Morning Mimosas and Urban Council 585.
Hey y'all, good afternoon, good morning. For my Nigerian folks, hello. This is a Morning Mimosas Urban Council 585 collaboration, y'all. And I have to sigh like that because we have to unfortunately talk about this topic today. But before we get started, let's introduce the beautiful ladies on this wonderful panel this Sunday morning, afternoon. We have Miss Nye, who is the host of Urban Council 585. Her gorgeous face. Love her so much. And then we have Miss Nikisha Smith. Oh, y'all can introduce yourselves. What am I
doing? I'm Nikisha Smith, Shug's Empowerment Nook. I believe in empowering women. I believe in women knowing their self-worth so we don't get in situations like what we're going to talk about today.
All right. I am Damasha, better known as Zip Mouth Motivations from the Zip Mouth Motivations podcast, mindset coach. You gotta learn how to reset your mindset so you don't do these kind of things too. So we can.
And I'm your girl now from Urban Council 585. So
perfect. So as you guys mentioned, especially with the two ladies stated, Miss Carlee Russell and everything that transpired from Thursday, July 13th up until today, July 23rd, so the last 10 days. As you guys know, Carlee Russell was kidnapped on Thursday, July 13th at 9:30 Eastern time. And 49 hours later, she walked home. Now, somebody can take it from there because my mouth was already about to start running from now. So go ahead. Let's go walking home for me.
You know, the purpose of this episode is really to see and to talk about, missing and exploited, Black women, and how we are, not really broadcasted when we are missing and things like that. And also the authenticity of Carlee's, story. Everybody got questions. We human. We were sending our prayers, God bring her home. She was trying to help a child. And, it's a lot of loopholes in her story. So is it, the argument online lately has been, is she setting back Black women that are actually missing, and things like that. So ladies, what are, your thoughts?
I think my biggest thought is like, how the heck did this get so big? You know what I'm saying? Because Black women go missing all the time, doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is like a key point to show people like how money is a motivator. You know what I'm saying in this situation? Because how did this story get so big? It's been Black women that.
Or do you think it was social media influence? Because social
media is a big thing, especially TikTok. Because if you tell TikTok to get them, TikTok gonna get them. It don't matter. But I think it had something to do with money. I think it had a lot to do with money because there have been women that have been missing, and TikTok has put them on Facebook, sharing them. Everybody's sharing the story, and it hasn't made it this big. Black women go missing every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, a black woman goes missing. So how did this story get so big? That is like, and you can't say it was a child because they have sex. They used that trick before. A child or a woman comes to your car, or somebody's trying to sell you some perfume, or that has been used over and over again. So that's what my like. I can't take my mind off of that part of it. How did this get so big?
I have to agree. I think it is something to do with money. Um, I think the Black community's got to do better, because I think not only is she in the midst of this, there's some more loopholes, there's some more stuff that's going to come out. Um, and as a Black family, you should be ashamed, period.
As a
You
whole,
know, yeah. So if it's the money, where's the integrity? We know better than to do craziness like this. It's just like, we don't have Black serial killers. It ain't out there like that.
right?
So, for like I said, it's got to be money because we go missing all the time, and the baby trick is old. So there is something wrong, and we should be ashamed. So, as a whole, Black folks need to heal and stop the craziness because this does make us look crazy.
I wonder what the motivation behind money would be. And I'm glad y'all brought that up because maybe I'm ignorant to the fact, but I wasn't thinking of money so much. I was thinking that, maybe it just was one of those stories that just happened to go viral so fast. And one thing about social media and the newer Black community and generation, especially the newer generation, they are the investigators. They
Okay.
are people now are tapping into we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure out what happened to Jamie Foxx. We gonna figure out what happened to Carlee. If y'all not gonna do it, we gonna do it.
We
So
out
I
here.
think as a collective, everybody was worried and then it spewed into something else. But now y'all got me thinking, okay, let's put money on the table. What would be the motivation for the family? And what would be the motivation for Carlee to get monetary gains off that? Because people do stuff like that all the time.
So she's a nursing student, right? Nursing school can be expensive. How do we not know that? She wasn't like we don't know all the details. We don't know if she was flunking out of nursing school, and we don't know like if she has student loans or something like that. Their family, I guess, live in a nice house. We don't know if they were maybe facing foreclosure. Like there's just so many things, right? Um, but to do this though for money, and then all the money from the GoFundMe that they're trying to keep or have kept. Um, I think that would be like a motivating factor for her. Maybe she's about to graduate, right? So after graduation, all that debt starts. So we don't know. What y'all think?
I think that as a whole, the whole family have something. It was something there. It's something going on there. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that I would agree with I could not, I couldn't join with my child in this. You know what I'm saying? Especially like it don't make global news. But the one thing though that we don't understand and we forget about social media is controlled. So if they don't want us to see it, we are not going to see it. So why this story? And like Keisha said, like I feel like it's some other stuff that's gonna come out. Like some other little loopholes that we even missed, because we were so busy trying to find Carlee. So, like just some other stuff that we really missed. And somebody is gonna expose it. Because something is happening. This is like, first of all, she a regular girl. You know what I'm saying? Working a job, get off work, see a baby. But and then the other thing that who you remember when someone said they saw a gray car with a bright skinned man. Who be saying that? Because usually it's an African American man or a white man. So who said bright skinned man? Like where did like all that little stuff be playing in my head? Because like what? Even when they said that, but we never heard about the gray car. Who called and said it was a truck driver that drove by and said they saw her? There was never a car. There was never a baby.
the stories pile up. I mean, it's just like you say one thing and then the next person is going to say something different. The next person's going to say something different. And with social media, you just never know what's going to come out. Okay.
Right.
Now it's up to the news broadcasters, I guess, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to social media to get their facts or trying to figure it out. But realistically, I really think that this family is at fault. Period. I mean, it's like they're all in this together. The stories are all crazy, convoluted, all over the place.
Right.
But
Sure is.
I think it goes back to the family, and obviously there's some unhealed trauma. I'm all about getting to the root of it, you know. So somewhere, where in the world, why would you make this up? Why are you trying to go to national TV with this? What's really going on in the family?
That's why I
You
said
know,
Mental illness.
mental illness, you know. So people have to deal with that, and Black folks don't deal with it.
And I
Just what
also think that like the family still went on this, you know, to the news and said no, she really was kidnapped. Like that they was so at first I still was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Okay, she really was kidnapped until the police held that press conference, and I respect the white man because he was keeping it very respectful. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have turned her every which way but loose. Because he was giving out the facts without saying she's a liar, without saying, you know what I'm saying. But like he said, 600 yards. What is that? What he said, 6 football fields or
6
something
football fields.
like that. He was basically like, look, I'm giving it to y'all straight. Y'all can take it how you want. But I would have been like, she lied.
But you know
Where's
what he did? You know what happened is he was being gentle to us. He was
Right.
being gentle up to us as a Black community because we already are having problems with police. We already have problems with, you know, just criminal, and it already seems as if we already going through something. So he was being very gentle with us, not to roar the rest of us up. You understand
he
what I'm
nice
saying?
because he appreciate
And
him
so
for doing that because he could have, honestly, with the facts that's coming out.
right. And
Okay.
probably they probably would have. You understand what I'm saying? But because of everything that's going on in the world, so then that really set us back because now we have people being conscious of how they treat us, but then this happens. Now we're going back to not being conscious of how you treat us.
I totally agree with that. And then it does put the real cases on the back burner. Period. You know, he was very gentle, and that was more than appreciated because I'm like, hey, nah, I would have been kind of unglued and kind of telling the truth. So that's appreciative, but it does set us back. You know, he's going to give us that grace right now, but what about the next case? When are you going to open it up?
Right.
Like crying wolf.
Right.
And then that also makes me think too, you know, as Black people as a whole, I can't talk for us individually, but as a whole, you know, we're always taught like we're always going to be looked at as less than. We're never going to have the same opportunities as, you know, others as white people and things like that. So we're naturally set back from the beginning of time, right? But then it comes to where do we as Black people take our responsibility to why we're still set back in certain ways. And this is our prime example. We Black. We know we got to work harder. We know they don't search for us. We know we don't barely get no damn Amber Alerts. For her to be looking that up, I didn't even know you paid for Amber Alerts. Like, it was a lot coming out that I was like, wait a second. I just thought you go missing and the people look for you. Got to pay. Like, how does that work? So now it's like crying wolf. So it's like, well, now when y'all Black asses go missing, we already wasn't looking for y'all, but now we ain't because look at what y'all do.
Right. Y'all at somebody hotel grabbing snacks and made up a whole big old. I'm sorry.
Can I just put a theory to y'all? So I've been watching a lot of different YouTubers positions on this, and there's a gentleman. His name is Steve. I forget what his channel's called, but he was talking about Carlee probably having an accomplice, right? Because she couldn't have did this by herself, y'all. He was showing a clip of another YouTuber at that same stretch of highway where she was at, and showing like the dense grass, and showing like this waterway, and then showing like the other side. Like she couldn't have did this by herself. People would have seen and heard her. What y'all think about that? Did y'all think she had somebody helped her?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yes.
they said it was a theory that it was another car that met her at the end of the field where she was. Like she got out the car, walked down, did whatever, and it was another car that came, picked her up, and then did whatever. That was something I heard. I don't know if that's facts. I don't know if it's true, but I could at this point anything is believable.
I think she was hanging out with a sneaky link.
A sneaky link? You did
yeah.
all this for a sneaky
link. Well, I mean, she lived at home with her parents. She grown. She don't want people to know her business. So I'm gonna act like I'm gone. I'm gonna go get me something, and then I'm gonna make my way on back home. You see what I'm saying? Because her thoughts.
The crazy thing about it is, the crazy thing about that theory is, back in the day when we was young, family used to do it all the time. You got your cousins, your auntie, or somebody, they disappear for the whole weekend. Nobody know where they at. Nobody know what they doing. They done left all their stuff like they missing. Everybody worried, and they like, oh, I was with my friend.
Yep.
But it was the fact that back then you ain't call 911 and say, I found a child.
Right.
Like,
no, GoFundMe either. Well, they didn't have a GoFundMe to come find me back then either. So, it's things circle back around, and this generation does things a little bit differently. So the thought could be, I'm going to get me some. I'm going to get paid because I'm going to say I'm abducted, because I don't want my parents to know the truth that I'm out there doing what I'm doing.
It was also another theory that she was either about to flunk out of school or she dropped out and didn't tell her parents. And then a lot of stuff was about to come to the forefront. So if we be the social media investigators, we could start putting my investigative hat on and start putting the facts together. So you're stealing from your job, you took some snacks, question your relationship about your boyfriend. We don't know what was going on there. Do we think that could be a theory? Maybe they were breaking up or something. Let me go missing and I'll get kidnapped to see if you care about me, or to see, you know what I'm saying? Because she was going off on a side piece not too long ago. So it's a lot of, maybe she was going through stuff. Things were going to get ready to come to the forefront. And you know what? Let me get kidnapped. Maybe sometimes we feel like something bad got to happen to us for people to appreciate us. Or to really, you know,
Can I?
Go ahead.
Did she have to involve us though?
She didn't mean
she
needed us. She needed us to make the story believable.
She did not have to. She did not have to involve the rest of the world in her bullshit. She could have did all of this minus the 911 call, and we'd all be sitting here having a different conversation. But she decided to be extra, and then her Google searches, like those are the things that just scream at you, like how not to get caught stealing money from a register. Come on.
Part of me thinks she had a temper tantrum. Like, honestly, after I saw the messages to the girlfriend, the new girlfriend,
the
stripper, how she was like, "Oh, you rich and I'm rich and you poor," and I was like, "Well, wait a minute, Carl, did you do this because you wanted that man back?"
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
And I will say, you know, sometimes women can be extreme when it comes to trying to get a man's attention. You know what I'm saying? Definitely somebody met her in that little alleyway. Maybe she just, I don't know, lost her mind when he said he wasn't coming back. And she like, I'm going to get my man because that poor girl, I'm going to act like I'm missing.
She should have did what the rest of them do. Scream, I'm finna kill myself. If that was the case. That's like Holly said. That wasn't enough. Screaming, maybe she did that before. I'm finna off myself. Maybe
maybe she did that before. Now I'm with you on that now.
Yeah, she probably did.
She probably did a whole bunch of stuff. You got this rich girl feel like she got all this money and she's
Mm-hmm.
better than everybody. She driving this nice car, and the one thing that she wants is this man, and she can't have this man because this man is messing around with somebody who is got less than her, and she feel like the money made her, and I'm gonna make.
There's no dick good enough. Okay.
When you young, you don't know that though.
True
Right.
story.
When you
Right.
young, you don't. We all been there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Might have not been this extreme,
Oh,
but
okay.
live a little bit more to understand there's more to life than men and dick and money and
Right.
trying to
True
show
story.
the neck. So she hasn't got to that stage yet. If this ain't humble her, if this
Nah, what you said, this ain't humble. But you
And
think
it hasn't. It hasn't actually.
I don't think it has.
Because she's her birthday was yesterday. And she was in Atlanta partying, I guess. Well, I don't know how true this is. This is just from like the multiple things I've been listening to. So allegedly she has no remorse.
There's a disconnect. There is you
Crazy.
have to have you have to have a mental illness to pull off something like this. Like seriously, something has to be wrong with you to pull off something like this. To call the police and say that I'm sorry, I thought I saw something in my window. But to call the police and say that there's a child out here on the street, to walk through those woods, because there was a TikToker who went to that exact spot where she was at, and he went down the trail under. He had to go down the trail under a tree. It's dark as death in those bushes at nighttime. Then the fencing for the houses is tall fencing, which means she had to climb the fence. Or
Oh, yeah, she had help.
Was a dark tunnel. Okay, in Alabama, it's coyote dens everywhere. Everywhere. Whoever picked her up was on a 4-wheeler. They had to be. Unless she had a 4-wheeler in the woods. There is no way that she walked or ran through those woods like that. There's no. The coyotes would have got her before anything.
I agree. You ain't walking along the highway in Alabama. Period.
No.
Nowhere. Yeah, nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah, so I think have to have help. And as my mom used to say, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's crazy. Okay. And whoever else is involved with her is crazy. And the bottom line is it's mental illness that's got to be dealt with. I mean, that's just it. For her to be out partying and celebrating, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be out partying and celebrating if I just got kidnapped. Okay,
I'm gonna be stuck in the house. I don't know if y'all remember this episode of SpongeBob when he was scared to go outside. That was talking to the penny in the tissue. Baby, I'm not going outside. Ain't nobody seeing me. I'm traumatized. I've been thrown in the trunk. They gave me some snacks and let me barely get home. And I'm outside partying. So here's
but that just goes to show she doesn't even recognize the extent of what is happening.
So I have a question for y'all on the legal part, because y'all know urban councils about legal stuff too. Should she be prosecuted?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Now if she was smart, she'd plead mental illness. That would be her plea.
That was my next question.
Smart. But definitely she needs to be prosecuted because you're talking about time, money. Time is money. This is money, resources wasted that could have been used on cases that are necessarily to be researched, to go back to cold cases. So of course, but if she's smart, she'll go with the mental illness plea because she's crazy.
She definitely gonna go with the mental illness. Because she knows something is wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? She knows something, so she definitely should be prosecuted, and she definitely is probably going to do mental illness. Like she's going to say she didn't know what she was doing.
Don't let me be the prosecutor for that, because I would know, because I know obviously mental illness is real, but those searches alone will get her convicted. Like so
that's what the prosecution gonna hold on to. Those searches, they're gonna say she premeditated this. She premeditated, and she did. She did. But let me throw another theory out there, right? So this was a big story. So many resources exploited during this time, right? So y'all know that the government is part of sex trafficking. You understand what I'm saying? What if
They are.
we blew this story up so that we would be distracted from the big movement that they was making of people they already had?
That's a great
Maybe the
theory.
government paid her to do it.
Mhm.
I 100% think they involved.
Mhm.
I
Look, we're gonna give you a couple bands. Go, we gonna pick you up in the woods.
Mhm.
Even if they wasn't in the woods and they just made them get a team of people. Oh, I 100% think they involved, because I don't understand how this story got so big. We go missing all the time. This is not
That's true.
new. None of this
Mhm.
new stuff. None of what Carlee did or what happened is new. So how did this one story go so big? Money is the motivator for everything.
Mhm.
So can I add another theory to that? So it's interesting that you brought that up. I also think that this was also a distraction because y'all remember them submarine people when they went to with the submarine to go look at the Titanic. I think that's what that story was. Um,
I ain't
we
even
got
go
distracted.
about that. I even go. I finally got over it, and you just brought it back up and
Not
re-triggered.
so you bringing back up trauma for her.
I'm so sorry, Nye. I hate to do that to you, love, but it just seems like that's what like. There's just so many like they just distract us from so many things, and there's also an election coming up. We also have to be mindful of that as well. Y'all know, I mean, I think about all angles, so it's
You know,
definitely
I don't think
it's more than just Carly and a man.
it's
Mhm.
Deeper than that, for sure.
Mhm.
that's what my mind been on this whole time. You know what I'm saying? First of all, just think about all the setbacks that been happening. Mississippi, you understand what I'm saying? The young
And
man who
Jim
got
Crow.
the Jim
Oh,
Crow, Mississippi,
oh, okay.
Florida. You know, I'm in
Mhm.
Florida. You know,
Florida, and they passing these laws in these school and the curriculum.
Yeah.
girl, to teach the middle
Crazy.
school. And I don't think like a lot of parents really know, because when I've been saying this to people, I'm like, do y'all know DeSantis is passing the law to teach that slavery was a benefit because it
It
gave
was
black
helping,
skills?
helped us with our agricultural.
What? What? I said, I don't think
Mm-mm.
they. I said, y'all not watching. Like, what y'all watching? Because y'all see what he doing. Like, y'all don't see what he doing. Like, nobody don't want to. Like, we ain't doing nothing about this. This is what I'm saying. But all of this stuff is to set us back, and then to say it was y'all fault that y'all was set back. But I'm sorry, I ain't gonna make it as no slave, y'all. So if they try to set us way back, y'all go ahead and say goodbye to me, because I'm not gonna make it.
Listen, I think that'd be the worst thing to do. The way we is today, we revolting, baby. We ain't scared. This ain't 1800, 1776, baby. You better ground the troops because we not playing.
Mhm.
Okay.
And see,
Mhm.
that's what I think that they're doing. I think they're just trying to set it up where it looks like we're setting ourselves back with
Yep.
different things. Because there was something else that happened that kind of made national news, and I can't even really think of the situation. I'm gonna think of it though. It was something else that happened with a black family or a black person that kind of was like, dang, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? Why did they do that? And I can't even think of it. And I was trying to remember before we got on here just to say, like, this happened like 5 years ago. It was something that made national news with a black family or a black something with black people. And I believe that's where the setback started. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then you had the Mississippi, the Jim Crow. Because, like, how is all of this stuff allowed? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
if this is the land of the free, how is this allowed?
Same way they allowed Obama to be in office for the time he was. Everybody's in control. The government's in control of what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
for him to be protected as a black man in office for 8 years, that kind of stuff don't happen. Okay. For us to have a black vice president, a woman, that kind of stuff don't happen. But what they will do is put the bad stuff in front of us so
Yep.
we can see the
Speaking
bad
of
in it,
that,
why we don't need to be in these positions or places. Does
right?
that make
Oh yeah.
so they're gonna do that. But we as a people need to learn to stay woke, stay educated, and always be on top of stuff like this. Because if somebody could have even spoke to the Carlee Russell family and said, hey guys, come on now. This is all about control. Okay. This is really, but we don't have that in our community. We don't stick together. The money is what everybody's going after. Money ain't going to, it just don't work like that because it's going to come out. Okay. But yes, the government is in control of this thing. They're in control. So as a people, we got to come together. Okay. Just how they came out, Harriet Tubman. Sometimes we got to go underneath the Underground Railroad to get shit done. Excuse my French, Sunday morning. Okay. But sometimes that's what's got to happen because they are going to make us look terrible, period. Our stories are going to be the worst. You know, that white man had given us grace during that conference because he knew he was paid to give us grace.
And they're going to fire our asses up from here on out. That's why. That's why. Y'all get this passed.
This is the thing. I watched him, like I'm watching, and I'm a big person on body movement. The way your eyes are moving. I'm always like, I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm watching everything about your posture, your body, everything. He wanted to say whatever he wanted to say, like, ha ha ha, you NIGGAs is crazy. You understand what I'm saying? He was up there like, I'm gonna give them some grace now, but it's only popping after this. You understand?
Because if he could have been like, nah, y'all know it's a lie. And what he said, and when he emphasized, he said specifically, I am an athletic person. I'm into athletics. That means she would have had to walk 6 football fields. He basically was like, I'm letting y'all know. That ain't what happened.
We know, and we want y'all to know that we know. But see, the thing is, this situation make all of us look bad. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it makes all of us look bad. And that's why I be telling people, I'm like tired of y'all saying stuff like, oh, well, this person got me down, and this, and this, and the white man this, and I don't want to hear that, because everything those people put in the news or on social media, and they say that we are this way, y'all act that way. Y'all act the same way. Like, okay. So, now it's like, okay, on the news, they say black people are liars. Black people start stuff. Now black people getting kidnapped and ain't even kidnapped for real. We going to hang out at a club or a hotel for the weekend. So now that's another stigmatism. And even though we as a black community are making a joke about it, we making a joke about it because, we like, oh, we done messed up. We done messed up. Because that's the way that we deal with trauma.
Yeah, we move forward.
Like, oh, this made it bad for us. You know what I'm saying? It's like the slaves, somebody do something, we all finna get beat by master now. So let's try to just have a good time until master come beat us. What?
But this has been going on for years. White men have been control our community for years. Who brought crack into the community? We didn't. Okay.
Ronald Reagan.
On ourselves to kill each other. Okay. The gangsters we took it upon ourselves to kill each other. So until the black race comes together and sees how the white man has put division in us, it's not gonna work, And I think about black women. It's gonna take black women to pull it together. And that's by supporting the black man. That's by understanding. That's by respecting, because our community is not going to change until we change. We had a choice to put the crack in that. When they brought that crack out, we could have said no, but no, there was money attached. Okay, and we know money's the root of all evil. Okay, so we have a tendency to gravitate to some of those things that we shouldn't. Okay, our ancestors didn't make those moves for us to be where we're at now. Okay. If we go back and we stand on our foundation, then it'll make a difference. We won't have this kind of stories going on. And when our black people go missing, we come together to find our black people. Period. I'm sorry, y'all. Underneath all this.
No, I hear you. I agree 100%. The only thing I say to that is that we gravitate towards money because we live in poverty, and we live in these, our socioeconomics drives why these kids getting stolen, people need money and do things like that. But I agree with you 100% is that we know we set back. We've been set back since the beginning. So it's up to us to make sure we taking them steps forward to be better than that. You know, we can always say it's the white man's fault. It's the white man's fault. But what are we doing to contribute to why we still stuck in the same place?
You have to choose to move different. If you don't move different, then things aren't going to happen. So the choices that we make are what's going to make things change. We have a tendency to choose what the white man put in front of us instead of choosing what we know is right. You know, we have those, we sometimes we have to sacrifice, because if you choose to live in poverty,
The movement changes.
I have to step our game up.
And I'm gonna say this though, and this is what we don't realize in our community. Yes, we live in impoverished communities, but African Americans own 89% of the freaking buying power. We are not broke. We are not broke. We just don't know how to spend our money properly. We just don't know what to invest in and what to buy and how to save our money. We own this world. We own this world. We buy more than any race that is buying. You know what I'm saying? We buy clothes more, shoes more, food more. We go on trips more. We do this more. The statistics don't even want to show that, but we own 89%. That's 89% of the world that we own. So then maybe we need to learn how to budget our money properly. Maybe we need to learn what to invest in, how investments go. You know what I'm saying? But we got to stop doing stuff like a whole train. Like another distraction is this new Monopoly game. Everybody playing Monopoly. Why is we playing Monopoly? We ain't got no money. This is not real money. This is fake money. And I know we're having a good time. But at what point do we start worrying about our future? You know what I'm saying? Like worried about where we gonna go next and what's gonna happen, and all this stuff changing. Carlee, Mississippi, Texas, Kansas, all these different places and these laws that they putting up under the table while we sleep or while we scrolling through our phones, and we not really paying attention to anything. Because in our mind, the news telling us that we poor and that we supposed to kill each other and we supposed to do this and we supposed to do that, and that's what we're doing. When we already know the news be lying. They just put out whatever the government tells them to put out.
That is true.
I hope that they put in after all of this, and if they do try and convict her or whatever, I hope that the Supreme Court or whoever put up a Carlee Smollett ruling. Like, y'all go ahead and be lying and make us go through all of this, and it comes to find out that it's a hoax, y'all asses getting charged. And they got to start adding new, laws and stuff like that, because we live in a new age where all this old stuff, it ain't in the Supreme Court and these laws and these Bill of Rights and stuff like that. But it's definitely, especially when women lie about being raped or things like that. That's another one. The Me Too, you know what I'm saying? It seems like now, later on in life, it's all about money. You know, it seems like it's a financial gain now. Is it about your justice or is it about financial gain? And we already don't get justice in the criminal justice field at all. We don't get it. So it's a hot mess.
I agree. So me, I'm going to speak from being a mom of a murdered child. There's a lot of people whose cases are not solved, and there's a lot of different people that came out talking about now, they're not going to take us seriously anymore because of this. They weren't taking us seriously before. Let's just be politically correct there. I think what everybody here is trying to say is that we have to pull together to get justice for ourselves. And while saying that, I wanted to present this video of actual missing Black women to give you guys, to show you guys who's really missing, so you guys can look out for them in the different cities, because they deserve to be found. So we're going to go ahead and play that now.
Miracles missing since October 2018 from Chicago, Illinois. Nikki McCown, missing since July 2001 from Richmond, Indiana. Jennifer Blackman, missing since December 2020 from River Rouge, Michigan. Phoenix Colden, last seen December 2011 in Spanish Lake, Missouri. Sharon Davis, missing since June 2001 from Dallas, Texas. Keisha Jacobs, missing since September 2016 from Richmond, Virginia. Darian Hudson, missing since October 2017 from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Alexis Camry Scott, missing since September 2017 from Peoria, Illinois. Aisha Amira Muhammad, missing since November 2000 from Philadelphia, PA. Cleshindra Hall, missing since May 1994 from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
$1994.
That's not
For
even
the
half.
last.
That's not even half.
That's not even half.
That's just a small percentage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People that are missing, and they didn't look for us like this. I know social media is the bomb, but the social media ain't do that. I'm sorry. Social media, because I repost missing people all the time. Other people repost, they like it, they got 20,000 views or 20,000 likes or 20,000 shares, whatever, you know. No, they're not gonna play with me like that. That's crazy.
And I know from I'm just thinking about on a personal note, my god sister, she was killed here in Aurora, thrown behind a King Supers here in Aurora. Now she hadn't lived the best life. Don't get me wrong, she hadn't lived the best life, but she was a mother of 5. Okay, we pretty much know who did the job, but the police. You think they have arrested anybody? Nah.
No. Same.
And part of that's because I think about this case here that's, it's fraudulent. So you look at real cases where people have gone missing or killed and the police aren't going to do the digging. It's just not going to happen. The digging's not going to happen. So on a personal note, like I said, right here in Colorado, I have experienced that. I know that they look at us as less than. Okay. And I know that it's gonna take me and her family. We're going to find who did it, period. And we're gonna have to take it to the police and they're gonna have to do something. But if we don't take action, they're definitely not gonna take action. And I refuse for a year to go by and we haven't caught her when we know who it is. Okay, so we have to take action as a people. We're going to be the ones that have to, blow up social media. But it's our job. The harvest is great, the laborers are few, and that's real talk. It's real talk. So it takes a community, us, to pull it together. Podcasts like this to pull it together. Okay, and that's just truth. We can live in acting like we don't know. We know. We got to step up our game.
We do. And the only thing I'm going to say to that is if they prosecute her ass, they need to prosecute these white folks for the shit that they do too. That's the only thing. We can sit here and say this, that, and the third, but it's not granted all the way across the board because these white people get away with murder, literally
every day.
So it's no longer about prosecuting. It's about making sure that they get prosecuted and that there is a set amount of time that everybody should get. I don't care, and I hate to be this way because it like certain stipulations. Like if you did this 100 times, you need to go down for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really do. But the thing is that we're not in those courtrooms. You understand what I'm saying? We are not. And if we are in those courtrooms, we is house in our DGA, and we don't even care. We're not thinking of, dang, I just seen this same case come in here with a black dude, and they gave him 20 years. Now this white guy come in here, and they gave him 5 years of probation. Not even jail time, of probation.
But that's why I encourage Black people. We have to do the jury duty. It's hard for us to get through, because I've been through the process as well. And this is just also me talking as a defense investigator. Like, the first question they'll ask you, do you know anybody that's ever been the victim of a crime, or have you ever been the victim of a crime? I'm Black. I'm from the inner city. My answer is going to be yes to all the questions. You're dismissed. You know what I'm saying? But then I hear people around me like, I don't have time to go to jury duty, and I'm missing work and this and that. We have to, because we don't show up and we are not accounted for on these juries. And if we don't have the experience and to know certain things, how can we be the ones to make sure that these laws are being handed down to everybody across the board? White, Black, Puerto Rican, Asian, yellow, green, everybody.
Because we got to step it up. We got to stop allowing the world or media or whatever to tell us who we are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't get disconnect as like, oh, well, this person ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm my own person. I'm a Black king. I'm a Black queen, and I do what I want to do. But then the media tell you that you bust your windows out your boyfriend's car. So now all of us busting our windows out of our boyfriend's cars. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's the behavior? Like you said, we have to step it up and know, like, if you're gonna walk around saying you a king, you a queen, and all this stuff, then you need to know what the definition of that is and be as such. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be as such. We need to stop lowering our standards and realize, like, we need help. We need help learning how to spend our money. Start listening to these podcasts and to the, Clubhouse and to the different things that have stuff that you need. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, go back and look at how we used to be compared to how we are now. Because when we start building our own community, then that's when they start coming in our community to try to take from us and, taking them in and stuff like that. But if we could talk to one another, like if one of us could go and talk to Carlee family and say, listen, we know y'all lied. We still gonna love you, but y'all listen, don't be doing it. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, get this together. Now, Carlee, you got to be on punishment for this, so you're gonna have to go to jail and do the time for it.
Right.
But at the same time, when you come back, we still love you and we still want to support you. We still want you to go ahead and see if you can go to nursing school, because that's how we are. You feel what I'm saying? But we, as in that, we allow them to tell us who we are. We allow them
we have more competition than collaboration. We need to collaborate. We need to stop competing. We need to stop taking each other's man. We need to stop thinking and talking negative and all that. And it needs to be more empowerment. We need to uplift. We need to speak life. There's a lot of damnation spoken, a lot of death spoke on the Black community, but we need to change that narrative into speaking life. We need to uplift. We need to empower. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. So self-love is where it starts. Okay. Outside of that, you're stuck. Period. Because you're going to compete because you want to be somebody else. You got to be yourself first. You got to love yourself, got to stop competing, and you got to collaborate to make a difference. These other races are collaborating. That's why you see a block of Hispanics, a block of Asians, whereas guess what? Those Black dollars are going into those block of Asian stores, those block of Hispanic stores. That Black money need to go into a block of Black stores, but that takes collaboration. Period. Whether it's in the boardroom, whether it's in the courtroom, if it's in the doctor's office, wherever it may be, those Black dollars need to be spent in those Black places. Period. And then that's how you get help. We got Black doctors. We got Black nurses. We have all those things. And this next generation coming up, they gonna make a change because they ain't playing. They're not playing.
They savages.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? I give it all to them. I'm going to support them. I'm going to collaborate with them. I'm not trying to compete with them. Those are things that I'm just not going to do, because I know that I have personally ingrained in my children, this is your foundation, baby. Don't you steer away from it. You know what is, and you make those decisions accordingly and make sure that you uplift your brothers and sisters. Got to do that.
Amen.
We gotta do that.
Nice, amen.
That was a whole sermon, but it's the truth.
Yeah. I mean,
True
there's
that.
nothing else that we can say. It just is what it is. I had to learn that myself. Love yourself first. And then that unconditional love, it moves forward. It shows, it shines. You don't have to be a pageant queen to have your crown on. Your crown is worn daily. Okay. Kings wear their crown daily. Okay.
Right.
But he is, don't tell people when you gotta adjust those crowns.
Okay.
Adjust them and keep it moving, because that's done in love. It's done in love.
That's what I'm talking about. That is, but we don't know how to do. Like I told somebody, I don't think people know what love is anymore. Like we as a people have gotten so far away. Because think about Carlee, right? Now, if we want to take a stab and we want to give her a band-aid and we want to be grandma and we still gonna baby her, if that's what we're gonna do, we would take her and say, "Oh, baby, like what's wrong? What happened? What was you thinking about? What was going on in your mind? The fact that you stole from your job that you work at and get a paycheck at, and the fact that your parents are very wealthy. What happened? Something happened.
Yep. Yeah.
So even though you got to be reprimanded for this situation, we still want to know what happened. But our community, and we do that, but we just don't know how to bring everything else together. Like we
need to show love. When, like
Right.
you say, show love with that mistake. You made a mistake, but we love you. But you gonna go ahead and get punished.
Right.
But we're gonna love you once you come on out. You figure it out. But you got to get your stuff together, sis. We're not doing this.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting here quiet because I wanted to start talking about the actual missing women. If we can start talking about a lot of their stories. I don't know if you guys know like a few missing women or not, but the narrative for that, especially for Black women, is we go missing for some reason if we're pregnant and the dude don't want the baby. We go missing if the man wants child support, or excuse me, if the woman wants child support and the man don't want to give that. What are other situations where Black women go missing and the police just put us under the radar? If you guys want to add to that list.
I think Black women that are on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we kind of like forget about them. And like you said, we didn't put the drugs here, but I think that when those Black women go with, nobody looks for them. You know what I'm saying? Half the time they don't even have family. You understand what I'm saying? Like they don't have family, so they don't look for them. Once they find their bodies, they put them, wherever, and that's the end of it. And I don't think that's fair, because everybody got family somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody literally has family. So I think that's a major. I think teenagers get the front end of the stick too, because we just look at them as runaways. You know what I'm saying? But something happens. Something happens for you to want to run away.
Oh yeah.
Being too strict or whatever, but I feel like we don't look for teenagers like we should. We just let them be out there.
Also, I think the elderly, sometimes those elderlies come up missing and it's just kind of out there. And a lot of times elderly, they either don't have family or say they had one child and the one child is no longer living, or something is happening to that one child. So a lot of people in the Black community that don't have those extras are forgotten about. Prostitution, the prostitutes out there, the drugs, there you go with the drugs, it's a connection. So sex, drugs, and videotapes take us out, and don't nobody care. If you fall under that radar, you come up missing and you're involved in those things. And I guess it ain't videotapes nowadays. I guess we say social media. I'm old, so I guess we'd say sex, drugs, and social media, nowadays. Will take you out. And those are the people that they don't care about.
So I I wanted to bring up an actual case that's in Birmingham, Alabama. Since we are talking about Carlee Russell, the young lady's name was Kiera Stubbs. She went missing 9 years ago from Birmingham. Um, and the thing that makes me angry about her case is that it's been 9 years, and they've been putting so much they put so much effort in that 49 hours to find Carlee, but they didn't put forth that same effort for that young lady in the last 9 years. Um, I saw her family come out like 4 days ago, because they still want answers, especially after Carlee was found or came back, came back around. So I don't know. It's just situations like that. Her case just falling under the radar, and she's actually missing for real.
She doesn't have the money that Carly's family has. She doesn't. That's the truth about it. If we don't have it, like if we don't have money to pay for an Amber Alert, why you gotta pay for an Amber Alert? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pay for an Amber Alert if we don't have the money or the finance or even the knowledge, because nobody's going to tell you anything that's going to support our community, that's going to help build our community up. That's going to help locate one of us. They're not going to tell you like you need to take these steps, this step, this step, this step right here. You know what I'm saying? You got this amount of time to look for her. We're going to bring out the dogs. No, you got regular people doing search parties who don't have a trained eye.
I have a theory, a quick one. Do y'all think that this theory will the whole case with Carlee was publicized because maybe the police had already say they did look into it those first couple hours and they realized it was a hoax or realized the shit didn't make sense. So now let's publicize this real quick to show that she's lying and to show that this is not right.
You don't.
That could be.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Whatever makes
Because
us.
they could have probably, we ain't seen no Tyler, we ain't get no other calls. Okay, let's push this to the media so we could show, you know what I'm saying? And now all of this has unraveled like that.
This is what we gonna show. This is how black people behave. Because I don't care how many times I saw that video, I did not see no car and I didn't see nobody.
Nobody else pulled
I
over.
saw that girl traveling down that thing with her 4 ways on. I saw her get out of her car, go around the back of on the other side of her car and inside her car, and that's all I saw. And when people was like, "Oh, I see a midget, I see this," I'm thinking like, "No, y'all don't. Y'all don't see that."
Right.
And the police did not see that either. And the police did not see. They knew that it was a lie. They knew it was a lie. They knew it wasn't the truth. But we're gonna bring this out, and we're gonna continue to make the media push this because we're gonna make these people look bad, like we always.
They take forever to really get up there and say something. They'll take forever. Even with this being a lie, they will still drag it out and take it forever to really make a press conference about it. It's just
it moved so fast, didn't it? It was
they
so
moved fast, quick, fast, in a hurry.
They was on point and they was all over it. They was showing us that they really cared about our missing people. Why her? Why her?
Because it was a lie.
Has been missing how long?
Right.
9 years that young lady been missing for real, I ain't seen no press conference.
Nope.
I ain't seen nothing. I haven't seen anything. This is my third time hearing that young woman's name. But Carlee all over the news. No, they knew.
And she a lie. Out of all the ones that's missing, all the ones, this is the one that we go after and try to help, and she's a lie.
Exactly, because they want to make it when the setback is our fault now.
Yep.
It has became our problem.
Yep.
Oh, they smart. But at what point do we know like we have to outsmart them? We have to outsmart them. Like we have to beat them at their own game.
But that wasn't the way to do it. And that's what Black people as a whole got to understand, if we're going to come together and to make things right for us, we got to do it the right way. Not lying, not stealing from each other, not making these big old stories, because between her and Jussie Smollett, I don't know what in the hell, whatever they've been drinking, smoking, taking, but they need to go talk to the lady and sit down, because it's something bigger. Something bigger than all four of us sitting here talking about can really, sit back and say this is what the issue is. The root of it is, mental illness. The root of it is, if Carlee did that just for the attention, God bless her soul, because she's gonna have it rough in life.
She's gonna have it rough in life, but she's not gonna have it rough in our community. You know why? Because when we mess up, we accept each other back. No matter what we do, we accept each other back. So right now, Carlee all over the news, and we making jokes about it. We making light of the situation, so we knew she was lying. We wanted y'all to say she was lying, so we could say she was lying louder.
Well, at first we ain't know. I was praying, Lord, that's jacked up. I said, I'm not even gonna stop if I see a toddler by the side of the road. Y'all not gonna snatch me up.
Right.
I'm always thinking those terms, but in this case, I said, wait a minute. She was on the phone with the police, and then she got off the phone with the police.
They heard the scream.
Got on the phone with her whoever, and they heard the scream, and then nobody. I done rode Alabama that same interstate a lot of times. I'm sorry, you looking because you're looking for deer. You're looking
right. There it is. There it is.
So you are looking. You are paying closer attention, because if a deer hit your car, you no longer have a car. Forget it. It's total. So you are looking for deer. You're looking for animals running out. You're looking for cat. This is Alabama that we're talking about. This is not like New York. This is the country that we're talking about.
I totally agree with you on that. That's all you're looking for is deer out there. You ain't trying to look for nothing else. With too many trees. It just don't make sense, and for them to, we go back to the other girl that was missing from 9 years ago, to go back to shine the light on a real falsified story and not to bring up who's really missing in Birmingham, that disturbs my soul, so it's the common sense that the Black folks need to go back to. Common sense would say, this don't make sense, okay? Common sense would say that light needs to be shined elsewhere. Common sense would say, yeah, this ain't all quite right, but us as Black folks, we're gonna speak negative. We're going to pick around the bad pieces. And instead of saying, put this girl, sit her in timeout, and let's put some common sense back in her crazy ass, because she done lost her damn mind. Okay. We know that this other girl 9 years ago is really missing. She gone. Ain't nobody seen her from her. She ain't gonna mosey back around her neighborhood 40 hours later. Come on, guys. Common sense. Common sense. We got to do better with common sense.
Oh, definitely.
Common sense ain't so common anymore.
Exactly. Bring it back.
But that's why we got to each one teach one. A lot of people don't got common sense because they ignorant to a lot of things and don't know. A lot of ignorance is just not knowing. So that's why it's important to have these conversations and to let the next person know, like, this is what we stand for, this is what we not. If we want to do better as a people, we got to educate each other too. And some people feel like that ain't my business. Like Tupac said, Brenda family wasn't trying to be, you know what I'm saying? That ain't, but it is. It's our community. This is why it affects all of us. It's not just Carlee. I'm in New York, y'all in totally other places. This affects us all the same.
That is true. Man. Today was a good one, y'all.
Yeah.
Today was a good one. And just my final thoughts, so we can get out of here, and then I'm gonna ask you guys your final thoughts as well. My final thoughts is, don't give up on finding actual missing Black men, women, and children. Let's continue the fight to get them actual justice. Let's not let Jussie or Carlee Smollett or anybody like this deter us from getting justice for actual beautiful souls. But that's just my final words.
My battery's about to die here. I'm gonna jump in real quick. I enjoyed this, ladies, and it's important that we as Black women stay educated. We continue to support one another. We continue to speak life into each other. It's important that we support our Black men. It's important that we support our Black children. We know that mental health is not discussed, okay, in our communities. We've got to unlearn those behaviors that we've unlearned, okay? We have to make sure that when stuff like this happens, instead of going to the negative side, go to the teaching side. How do I teach the next person to where this doesn't happen? Okay. And those are things that it takes, like I said, collaboration, not competition. This is collaboration. Okay. Competition is, ooh, I didn't like that podcast. That's competition. Okay. We've got to collaborate with one another across the states. We start across the states. We move into different nations. Then it's a worldwide thing. Okay. Slavery was all over. You understand me? So how do we come up out of that? We got to get back together. Okay. We got to, when you ask somebody to pray for you, make sure it's a saint, not a sinner. Okay. Make sure you have a relationship with God, because it ain't about religion. Religion is this way. Relationship is up and down. Okay. Relationships are what satisfies the soul. Okay. And always stay happy. I'm gonna shut up. All right.
We needed that. That was good.
That was good. I guess my final words would be is to think, like literally think. When you are watching something, use the common sense as you know it to be true. You know what I'm saying? Like we as a community have to stop following trends and allowing people to define who we are as individuals and be an individual. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, when you're being controlled, you look like a cult. So right now, we are looking like a cult of people when we have always been individually powerful and been able to come together in unity. So that's my thing.
Amen. That's good.
I know that's right. Y'all speaking a lot. I don't know if my final thought gonna equate to y'all's, because y'all definitely out there, you guys made some very good points. My final thought is going to be what I've been preaching this whole episode. We as Black people as a whole, we got to do better. We know we have been set up to fail. The government sets us up to fail. We've been set up to fail since we came over here in this country and been brought over here unwillingly. So with that being said, it's up to us to stop holding ourselves back and take accountability for why we are still set back in certain eras. Yes, the white man has did it. We know that. But it's up to us to get past that. And if we can't, then we are the only ones we can blame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good word. Good word.
And then she's over here talking about that her final word wasn't deep. Girl, that final word was beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. All of us. I feel like we done brought to church.
We did. We took it to church. All right, y'all. Speaking of that, we're gonna hop off out of here. We're gonna take the rest of this day for ourselves or whatever we have to do for the day. As you guys know, this was a collaboration with Morning Mimosas and Urban Council 585, and then our special guest, Miss Nikisha Smith and Damasha from Zip Mouth Motivation Podcast. We will see you guys later. Please read the outro. These are missing women that are still missing. We will see you guys later.
All right.
Kiera Stubbs, age 23, missing from Birmingham, Alabama, since April 24th, 2014. LaWanta Riley, missing since December 7th, 2003, from Montgomery, Alabama. Marilyn McCowan, also known as Nikki. She's been missing since July 22nd, 2001 from Richmond, Indiana. She was supposed to get married. Let's bring these beautiful souls home. We're missing children, men and women. It's time for us to speak up for them. It's time for us to be their voice, so justice can truly happen for them and their families. Thank you for watching this collaboration with Morning Mimosas and Urban Council 585. Until next time.